This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let's go. Get on your mark, let's go. What you waiting for? There's so much more. The future's yours. Let go, explore. It's yours for sure. Sing with me with fear. So to God I stay near. I keep my hand to the plow. There's no turning back now. My future look bleak. I decided to see. He said follow me. On a journey you'll see. Get on your mark, let's go. What you waiting for? There's so much more. Greetings, and it is Sunday night, and I am SHAWN Brown, your host and guest at the same time. Kind of weird, right? This is Lessons from the Journey, Making the Brand Masterclass. Well, I am the brand. This is night 2 of an 11-night journey. And you know what this Making the Brand Masterclass is all about? It's one, an introduction into me as the brand and my methods and my missions and my motives. It's all of it unpacked so that you can really understand the meaning and the purpose behind every method that you will see come from the SLB ecosystem. But it's also a masterclass for you about being you. But because before there can be a brand, there has to be a you. And there has to be a me. And so I'm just crazy enough or courageous enough to stand in front of you flat-footed and give you the inside out look at what makes me me and what makes the products that you buy. Marina Vila, she is the host. She will serve as our host, our guide, our mediator. She will guide the ship so that you get the answers that you really want. She's not afraid of me. So she's not afraid to ask the hard questions. That's why she's sitting in the seat. So let me tell you, last week on episode 1, we really touched on the genesis. We talked about the vision. What is important is really being able to see why you're doing what you're doing. What was the picture that made you step into this whole thing? What drives you to go after what what drives you to go after what you're going after? What is the vision? So I unpacked that for you last week. And then we also untapped the mission. The mission is so important. It's like an address put into a GPS. You can't get to where you're going and stay on course without the mission. So we went into that a little bit, and you got to meet my authentic, real, whole, original root persona of LaShawn. This week I get to show up as SHAWN Brown, and do you know how much I love being SHAWN Brown? SHAWN Brown is a persona that is very comfortable for me to put on. And I'm sure most of you, if you know me, you know SHAWN Brown really well. You may not know LaShawn. So I don't want to take too much time. Plus, this ain't my show right now. It's hers. So I am going to turn the mic over to Marina Vila, your host for the evening.
Well, welcome everybody. As Shawn mentioned, we dove into last week the origination of where a lot of her vision came from. What we want to dive into today is the next phase and where that all starts. So, to start off, our very first question.
See?
Where is all of this originating? So we talked about the motives. Mm-hmm. Where all the motives originate from your story that we talked about last week?
Well, it's really interesting, right? Because I always say problems and your pain points reveal your purpose unpacked and developed becomes your products. And I think the one product that really best illustrates the motive behind all of this is the Rescue Mission Music Project.
Okay.
The Rescue Mission Music Project is the soundtrack. It's the soundtrack of Lessons from the Journey. Let me tell you how I got here.
Okay.
So, as a young person, I love music and I love to sing. I
Right.
loved it. We talked about last week, I spent a lot of time alone, a lot of time in my room alone, and how I would entertain myself. I used to be so embarrassed to tell this story, it would make my stomach hurt. But how I would entertain myself is I would create family members out of people that I honored, that I just truly loved. And my godmother was Gladys Knight.
Okay.
I feel so bad because she was young. My grandmother's Patti LaBelle, so I turned Patti into my grandmother. But I was a kid. Sorry, Patti, I love you. But I turned her into my grandmother. Karen White, she was like auntie or big sis. And I patterned my life, and I would write the lyrics down of the songs, and I would practice them and sing them. And when I was lonely and scared and sad, and sometimes I can still, I'm about to cry. Sometimes I can still see myself in the back of my closet holding on to it's a gold and white album by Gladys Knight and the Pips, and I would be clutching that. I would write the lyrics down, lyric for lyric. It was like it brought me company. So fast forward, fear has a way of robbing you of your gifts, and fear robbed me of my singing voice.
Okay.
What I would hear is, you're not good enough. You can't sing. You sound horrible. Stop doing that. It's crazy because I knew I could do it, but in my mind, I couldn't. And then tack on top of that, I had had 3 brain surgeries. So my gift was already tapped, right? Because I had to learn how to do it all over again. So it was easy for me to believe that I couldn't, right?
Okay.
So when the Lord comes along and says, part of what you're going to do is you're going to make a 28 song project broken down into books and chapters. I'm like, I haven't written a song since 1996, okay, when I get this message, which was a couple of years ago. I hadn't written, I hadn't rapped, I hadn't done anything. And what he said was, I want you to sing to me and rap for me.
Can you take a pause for a second?
Yeah.
Where were you in your life, just to connect it back to our first episode and walking through a lot of the milestones in your life? And you talked about brain surgeries and stuff like that. Around what time of your life did you hear this calling?
2017.
Okay.
I can tell you exactly when it was.
All right.
It was 2017. It was crazy because Q had just graduated. My oldest son had just graduated from college. And on June 1st, when I woke up on June 1st, which was the day he graduated, I started hearing, it's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. And I was like, what is it time for? I don't even know what it's time for. And then by October 17th, Karen White, she was launching a new movie, and she invited me to the premiere in Sacramento. I went to the premiere. We hung out the next day because she was releasing an album project. So we went and hung out there. It was her birthday. So we were hanging out all night, and I had somebody with me. And she just turned and looked at me, and she's like, why aren't you doing music? And that's exactly, I was like, what are you talking about? I mean, it's been years. I haven't picked up a mic. I haven't sang. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I just went, I don't know. The next week, that was on a Saturday. That was Saturday, October 14th.
Okay.
The very next Friday, I'm driving to work, and I got to a stoplight. And when I got to that stoplight, I heard the Lord say, you're not giving me a return on my investment. That's how I looked.
Wow.
That's exactly how I looked. I went, and I felt a little indignant and a little irritated because I had just beat cancer, right? I had just been, my brain's fried out with cancer. I had gone through all these things. And I'm like, what else do you want from me? And then as I was being indignant with him, he pumped my brakes and he said, I've given you the gift to sing. You have a range that can go from, I couldn't see, I was driving, I didn't see anything, but he said, I gave you a range from here to here, which let me know that the range was big, from low to high, right? And I knew that he expected me to use what he had given me, but it was going to cost me, and it was going to cost me growth and development. And then I didn't hear the voice anymore, and it was silent. Now, Karen had come,
Yes.
which was one of my childhood
Yes.
mentors,
Yes.
right? She had come. Then the very next week, I knew he was serious. I knew he meant business, and I knew I had to go and start to do something about it. I ran to church on Sunday. I went to the minister of music, and I said, I have to get in this choir. I have to. And he was like, well, come up here on this stage and sing for me.
Okay.
That was the first time I had experienced the level of terror. I mean, I was shaking, and I could barely get anything out. But he goes, okay, I want you to come audition. I went to the audition. I cried and whispered through the audition. Coming back to music, I felt almost tormented. It felt like the devil was trying to kill me. And at one point in the journey, I said, okay, I don't have to do this. I am a great hairstylist and entrepreneur. I am great at creating content. I'm great at this. But what God said is, if you don't do this, I'm going to bring you home.
So it sounds like there's some parallels here from the little girl who's holding tight to that album.
Yeah.
And this particular moment.
Yeah.
In your adult life after going through what you went through. So talk us through the journey of the songs. You said there's 28 songs.
There will be 28
There will be
songs.
28
We have
songs.
finished
Okay.
the first 4.
Okay.
The first 4 is Lessons from the Journey. This is Rescue Mission Music Project Book 1. And there's 4 songs in that book.
Okay.
Okay, so the first song, the title song, is the song that plays with the show, Lessons from the Journey. But I want you to hear this, right? Really pay attention to these songs because they're a masterclass in and of themselves. I mean, I did not realize I was writing my way out of trauma. I was writing, it was in, the answers were inside of me.
Okay.
But I didn't know it. Listen to the first one. It starts with this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, right? That is saying it's time. It's time for you to step out as who you are, exactly how I want you to be. Let your light shine. But listen to the opening lyric of the first verse. Satan gripped me with fear. It's the opening sentence. But to God I stay near. I keep my hand to the plow. There's no turning back now. I live my life like this. But what God was trying to show me is that my motive was not him and the love of him. It was fear. In the first sentence, I was revealing my own motives. Satan gripped me with fear.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my God, this really is my rescue mission. Because everything that I'm doing right now, I'm not doing from a place of a securely loved being.
Yes.
I'm doing it from the scared girl in the
Fear.
closet.
Yes, you are.
Right?
Okay.
So it let me know right away that lessons from the journey, securely loved beings, all of the things, root system reboot, those cannot come to be
Right.
if this music project does not come like at one of the first things out the gate.
Right.
You know, the title track is so important. When I get to the end, let me tell you a little bit about this. When I started to write the song, I wanted singing up front, rapping in the back, or rapping up front, singing in the back. I think that's how it went. Yeah. And I was like, I don't like the flow. This don't even sound like me. It's not cool. I don't want to be whack, right? I don't want to come out and be corny, right? That's not what I want to be. But the Lord said, I want you to do it just like I'm telling you. I want them to understand every single word. I don't want it all. Blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
I want them to hear what you're saying because what you're saying matters, right? Satan gripped me with fear. How many people are living their lives from a basis of fear, right? And you're calling them. This is a movement that's happening. Get on your mark, let's go. What you waiting for? There's so much more. Lessons from the journey, right? This is an invitation to come on and let's do this work with me, right? When I get into the second verse, it's Well done is the goal. I needed healing my soul. I'm like a modern day Job. I'm meek, mild, brave, and I'm bold. Right?
Yes.
That's who I am. God saying I'm reinforcing
Yeah.
how I made you. Yeah, you are like a modern day Job. That's how you survived. So you're telling them you can overcome anything in me, right? But my favorite, and this is the heart of God. I was like, listen, please don't let me go out like that without being able to flow a little bit. Just a little bit, because they're going to think I'm whack. Please don't make me do this. And then finally, he's like, I was having like one of the roughest days. It felt so hard. And I heard, this Lftj on top of me. Can't let you get inside me, please. That's blasphemy. I'm blasting, see? No ifs, ands, whys, or drama freeze. I'm letting go. He's in control. And I was like, oh, thank you. I can say that. He goes, put that on the end. It was such a master class in how creativity comes from God. And the creativity that's inside of you is your rescue mission. That was track one, right? It's the
Okay.
introduction, it's the invitation. It is the little girl in the closet
Yes.
saying, please let me out. Please let me out. I want to do this. I want my light to shine,
Right.
but I'm gripped with fear.
Yeah. Yes.
Here comes the second single,
Okay.
which, and I say it about all of them, it's my favorite.
Okay.
It's my favorite. And it's called Go Through. And the reason I love Go Through is because in order to be yourself, the best version of yourself, to experience the greatness in yourself, you're going to have to go through some things.
Yes.
And in that hook, it says, close the door behind you, stay the course and find truth. It's your life. You must choose. Lock that door and go through. Open up and free yourself. This your life, baby, no one else. Just do you. Do what you do. Face your fear and go through. God is masterful. He's masterful. That was, and I'm writing, when I'm writing, I need y'all to know, when I'm writing, I'm like, oh, that rhymes with that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that goes with, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm just writing.
Yes.
I'm just writing. There's it wasn't until I got into the studio with Q Made the Beat. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this Lessons from the Journey. God will send you everything that you need to be you.
Say that again.
God will send you everything that you need to be you. Now, when I say everything you need to be you, that does not always mean it feels like sunshine and roses.
Okay.
It's not going to.
Right.
The people sometimes are going to speak to you in ways that you're going to challenge your ego. There'll be things happening that you're like, this cannot be a part of what's good for me. Q Made the Beat was one of those.
Okay.
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 Q Made the Beat is like my creative director. He is the studio engineer. He's mixing and mastering the project. But one of the things that he is doing is he is literally snatching me out of these places that have been blocked and black. And when we recorded the first track, I went and recorded the first track with him. He cursed me out so bad. It was brutal. I mean, it was brutal. I was sweating. I was crying. I was hyperventilating. I was freaking out. And he was like, do you want to quit? Is that what you want to do? I mean, just screaming at me. He brought me out of the booth. He's like, you're wasting my time. I was like, oh my God, I can't do it. And he's like, okay, now you ready to go back in there? You got all that out? Now get back in there and finish the project. And then when we got done, he was like, I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. And that's when I knew he was the one for me.
The devil took hold of you in those moments.
Yeah, it is a demonic stronghold.
Yes.
He is fighting for your purpose. He's fighting you. And the way that he fights you is through the fear. And so he's trying to bring you back. And God is working his offense. He's like gritty with it too. He's sending in the people that will bring you out. And Q was that. So when we got to the second track, which was Go Through,
Okay.
Here's the thing. I did all the practice, right? This is what you do. Because I had already experienced Q on the first song.
Right.
And I was like,
Right.
nope, this time I'm going to practice. I'm going to practice. I'm going to practice. I'm going to practice. Child, please. When I got to the studio to record Go Through, he goes, okay, we're going to do the first verse first. And when we got to the first verse, there's a lyric in the first verse that says, all alone anxiety, empty feelings chasing me, searching for contingencies, thirst trap, so tap, set me free. Okay, sounds great.
But when you're in the booth by yourself
And it's
those
dark.
words- and it's dark.
So let me tell you. I get in there and he goes, okay, let's, and he's feeding me line by line. And then we get to that part about all alone anxiety. And he goes, sis, what are you doing? He's like, it's so flat. Like,
Okay.
do you understand what you're saying right now? And I was like, what? I don't know. It's all alone anxiety. He goes, all alone anxiety? Empty feelings. And he's like, you're like, all alone anxiety. He's like, no. He goes, you got to feel this. When he started the music again, I had a full-on panic attack. And I dropped to my knees. I couldn't breathe. And it literally threw me back into the little girl in the closet. And I was like, I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know what I was writing. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. Please don't make me. Don't make me.
Yeah.
And he was like, big dog, because my husband was there. And that was the first time I think that my husband had ever been in the studio with me.
Okay.
So he sends Andre in to get me. Andre picks me up off the floor and I'm crying like, I don't want to. 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 And then what I know now, I was saying, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to experience that. I got away from it and I don't want to. But the only way out is to go through.
Yes.
Go through.
And your way of going through was recording this song.
I had to record it. I had to get it out. And as you listen to those lyrics, right? It was a call. I thought I was making the songs for other people, which I am, right? Other
Yes.
people will utilize this music as their soundtrack to go through. But before it can be medicine for them, it had to be medicine for me. I just didn't know. And even when I got done recording,
Okay.
that was just the beginning. I still had to take the journey through the go through process. You know, I say stuff in there like slip, dip, and dive, ride with the tide, stop all the cries, see all the lies, step out and find my world refined. Right?
So explain that, because you're still writing this, and this is part of your motive as well. And you
Yeah.
just said you had to go through it.
Yeah.
So talk us through that a little bit more. You have the song, but you knew you still had to go through that.
You know, you have to go through the process. So after I recorded it, then he was showing me the places I had to go through where I was still stuck. Right? Because
Okay.
the first part of going through growth and development is seeing. You first have to see, because there's things that we've been doing, coping mechanisms that we have that are so ingrained that they're normal. Right? We have gotten so used to, let me say me.
Yes.
I got so used to dysfunctional patterns and habits that I determined and deemed were good for me. And they were necessary at a season, but now I'm a grown woman. So the things that I put on to survive as the 11-year-old child, the 50 some odd year old woman cannot operate with those.
Can you dive in for our audience an example of that? Because as you said, we have to first see. So help us see what you're talking about. If there's an example that you could share.
Well, like I said, really the biggest aha for me was when I could not get up off that floor and I was back in that closet.
Okay.
Because that's where LaShawn was, in the closet. And what's so crazy is she was still operating from the closet, because none of these things could become without her. But they cannot fly from the closet. So she could create from the closet, but these projects can't fly from the closet.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Or making your brand, YOU is a lie because I'm refusing to become me. Does that make sense?
All right. Keep
That's why I'm
going.
such a stickler
Yes.
on the YOU part of the brand. If you don't want to be you, you don't want to have your products, because that what you're saying is your products don't work. Right? There's no efficacy to the products if you can't authentically let them bring you through.
Okay.
Right? So
Yes.
the music was powerful, it was important. Now, let me get into the song number 3. And I know I'm gonna say this about I say about all of them. I know. Song number 3 is called Games.
All right.
Games, right? I had to go back into my Shawnee EE life. Okay.
All
So
right.
remember we talked about how the
Yes.
personas formed, right?
Okay.
Shawnee IE was really sweet, right? Little girl, she was sweet. But by the time she was 11, she was broken, she was wounded and tortured. EE came.
Yes.
EE wasn't playing, right?
Okay.
She was a little bit on the ruthless side, right? She didn't really, she was doing her thing. And that's where the rapper evolved.
All right.
Right? Because where I may have struggled to sing outside of my house. I mean, I used to sing. I never had, at that point, I hadn't thrown LaShawn fully away, but I hid her away. So I would close the blinds in the house and I would sing. I would set things up on the couch. I'm 15, 16, 17 years old playing this game. It was almost like an addiction, right? It was the only way I could exercise who I really was, because I was too afraid to let who I really was be seen outside.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would sing in the house and I put on full on shows. I mean, full on performances, right?
All right.
So when we get to Games, the Lord wanted to deal with me about the way I chose to navigate my life. He wanted to deal with me on the games that I had played to manipulate. I wanted a man and I wanted men. I wanted men to like me and want me. So one of the lyrics is eyes that seek, eyes that speak, lust that seeks. That's how I moved about in my dating life.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
You know, the Bay Area, I saw the verses with Too Short and E40. I cried through that whole thing. I'm a Bay Area girl to my heart. And I cried through that whole thing. And he was like, you know, Bay Area girls, they got access to athletes. You know what I mean? You got the Giants, you got the Niners, you got Sacramento Kings ain't that
Yeah.
far away. You've got multiple colleges around you. You've got Silicon Valley. You have a lot of options. Okay? You have a lot of options. And not only that, we're innovative. We're hardworking, focused, driven women. That's how I came. So, you know, when I was in the club, as hard as I go for my businesses and things, that's how hard I went in the club.
Okay.
I went 6 nights a week to the club. I had it set up where I would buy clothes, a system of buying clothes and taking them back to the store so that people didn't see me in the same outfits all the time. Right? We had a system set up for which clubs we went to on Mondays, Tuesdays. It was a real thing. I went to the club. I went to work in my corporate job. I went to the studio at night. So Games was really helping me to go back into the Bay Area and reclaim EE. Because when I got saved, and probably before that, when I left the Bay Area, I had determined that EE was not good.
Right. That's why you hit her.
That's why I hit her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I threw her away.
Right.
And then when I got married, right? Because what I was always searching for was a family. I grew up alone. So I was always in search of a family, and I was looking for validation. Do you know what I'm saying? I was looking to be validated. I was looking to be validated in a marriage. I thought a marriage and children and the white picket fence and the this and that, I thought that made me valid because I never felt valid. So by giving EE a voice again and letting me see her, Games Games is an important song. And I think it's going to be a very important song to a lot of people because you see how you're making choices and you're making decisions, but you're making decisions and choices blind. You don't even know why
Yes.
you're doing it. I'm
Yes.
going to be very candid. I let people penetrate me that should have never penetrated me. But I don't know that I'm harming my inner world, right?
Mm-hmm.
More and more every time I lay down and let somebody do that to me. And I think, I didn't invalidate myself. I think rape invalidates you. You get frozen. I mean, I was frozen in myself, numb on the inside. So hearing Shawnee say, eyes that speak, lust that seeks, sex that's cheap, right? I'm like, oh, a broken heart,
Yes.
racing thoughts, no sleep. Take these chains off me, right? It was chained. I was chained to not only the thought process, but I was chained to the way I felt about myself. So
Oh.
EE, you get it?
Okay.
EE was living out what I believed about myself. But by the time I get to the end of that song, I'm free. And that's what I love about it. But it was a hard walkthrough too. Because when that song, Renee, my general, was with me when I recorded that song. And I had to tell her, I said, Renee, you're going to want to protect me in here, but you're not going to be able to. I said, so just sit down, calm down, and just don't let him get to you because he's going to curse me out. And I did the whole thing. I showed her how Q was going to act,
Yes.
how he was going to curse me out. I showed her the whole thing. And she was like, I don't know how you endure that punishment. She's like, I wanted to come in there and snatch you out. But by the time it took us 3 hours, and by the time we got to the end of it, I was satisfied. And let me say this very clearly. These first four, the first book, they're not my best vocals. They're not even probably my real voice because I'm still in the closet.
You're
But
finding your voice.
it's the best that I had at the time. And
Right.
I refuse to give somebody something fake. I'm not out here performing for you.
Yes.
I am out here. God is rescuing me. These songs are rescuing me first. So, yes, they do some touch up and things on them. But, I said, no, I'm not going to keep doing them over and over. This is the best I have right now. This is lessons from the journey. So they will take this 28 song journey with me and they'll see me progress all along the way. So yeah, games is Games helps me to reconnect with the part of me that I lost, but I love her so much because I feel like Shawnee, more than anybody, is the most Christian.
Mm-hmm.
She endured the rape, she endured the hitting, she endured the narcissistic abuse. She endured that and stayed faithful, right? So if she says an F bomb every now and again, I'm like, baby, you got grace because you have endured your head being stitched closed without anesthesia. You've endured being slapped, smacked, kicked. You've endured this. And I'm thankful you're the survivor of the group.
So it sounds like this particular song, Games, was almost like a love letter to Shani, giving her a
Yeah,
voice,
yeah.
but giving her closure
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. And the story, right? Shawnee, we understand you.
Yes.
We understand why you had eyes that seek and lust, and we understand you. I think people are going to identify with EE
Mm-hmm.
so much because of what we endure, especially as women, and especially as women with no father, right? So if I don't have a father as a woman, how do I identify a husband?
Right.
That's what
Right.
God told me, because there was so much guilt and trauma surrounding it. But what the Lord said was, honey, you weren't even trained how to pick a friend. How would you ever pick a husband that would love you? You
That's
feel me?
absolutely.
You feel me? So I am on a rescue mission to be me. I am on a rescue mission to be free. I am on a rescue mission to integrate my whole story. Does that make sense?
It does. So we had the invitation, the first song.
Mm-hmm.
We had Go Through, the second
Mm-hmm.
song.
Mm-hmm.
Third song, Games. Which brings us to the fourth song.
Which is my favorite.
Again.
It's my favorite. The fourth song is Captive. And this is Shawnee's little girl speaking. It is her voice. And what's so crazy about the song is God said you have to sing this whole song. And I was like, I only had to do a little singing on the others, right? It was rap and sing. But this one, he was like, because this is where the fear is living. Satan doesn't want you to use that singing voice. And let me tell you, before I get into what Captive says, the illustration that he was giving me was that singing takes your heart, but my heart was numb. And so he said, what I need you to be is a worshiper first, a singer second, and a rapper third. The worshiper will empower the singer. Mm-hmm. The rapper will be emboldened by the singer. But the singer sings to me. The rapper raps for me. The worshiper is devoted to me. You get it?
Yes.
So he is literally rescuing me and putting me back together. The potter wants to put you back together again. Do you get it? So when I get into Captive, he says, and she's going to die at the end. You're going to kill a little girl? Yes, she's got to. The coping mechanisms, her ways of doing, being, and thinking, they have to go. In games, I say, old versions, they must go. Mm-hmm. Back and forth, baby, fast and slow. Wave your hands if you dare. Opinions left and right and everywhere. It's my life, so why you care? Flip the script, it's truth, not dare. So what I was saying at that point is I'm afraid of all the opinions and what people think about me.
Okay.
And what God was saying in Captive, you're captive to people. You're captive to these voices. You're captive to the lies. You are literally crushed. And when I got into writing Captive and writing those lyrics, I was bawling. It was the hardest song to write. It was the hardest song to record. As a matter of fact, I had to go to 2 studios. I didn't go to Q for Captive first. And the reason that I didn't was because I was like, I can't take it. I will not be able to tolerate him yelling at me. I really believed I would commit suicide. That's how fragile the pieces of me that had to record this song. And let me tell you this. In preparation to go record the song, I went the first time. Renee and I went to another studio. I spent 8 hours in that studio. I cried, I left, I went outside, I cried, they cried. I mean, it was a whole thing. And then Renee's like, I can't stay here anymore. I got to go. It was like 2:00 in the morning and it was horrible. I sounded horrible. And I was like, okay, I'm afraid to go to Q. I got to go to Q. I have to go to Q.
And this was also part of this whole journey. Aligned with the song, it sounds like.
Yes.
There were things that you just wanted to get away from.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, like you said earlier, Q is your guy.
Yeah, he's who God picked. He called him for this. Yeah, he created him for this.
And you tried to deviate.
Yeah, I tried to. And it was necessary too. Because the guys that we worked with, it's interesting. The one engineer was from Sunnyvale.
Oh, okay.
Which is where I grew up from.
Yes.
So it was like God said, let me put you back in Sunnyvale.
Okay.
Give you 8 hours in Sunnyvale so that you can come into and do this song for real. Okay. And so Renee went with me to the second time. We took it to Q. And the one thing that they did is I didn't have a rap. Remember I said no.
Right. It has to be all singing.
It's got to be all singing. And then in the studio, they were like, you got to put a rap on this. And I was like, but he said, and he was like, you got to put a rap on this. And I sat there and I think, Renee was there. You'll meet her in a future episode. But I think I wrote that rap in about 30 seconds. It was just like, I got it. I know what it is. And I got it. And what was so crazy is I heard Left Eye. It's like I channeled her. It's like she just came like into my body from What's Up, What's Up, by that song with her and Donnell Jones, I
Yeah, yeah,
think his name.
yes, yes.
And I channeled her in this song. Like I could feel her in my body. And it was like one take, boom, done. And I knew that I had crushed it. And then when we got to the end of it, I said, now I want her to die. I want to go, and that be the end of book one. The little girl dies.
That's pretty heavy there. That's quite a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. She has to die. It's the only way that LaShawn could be resurrected. Jesus had to die for us to live,
Right,
right?
right.
The old versions of us have to die for us to be free. A cocoon, the what do you
Butterfly?
not but the thing that before the butterfly, the little lizard thing, the caterpillar.
Caterpillar, yeah.
The caterpillar has to die.
Right.
And it has to voluntarily go into the thing to die, right? It's not like it's kidnapped. It's not kidnapped, right? It is literally, it goes in there to literally get liquefied, to transform and come out as the butterfly. And then it still has to fight its way out. You can't come along and go, oh, I don't want you to have to work too hard to push those wings out, baby. I'm going to cut you out. That kills it. So this was the swan song to the old versions of LaShawn, so that the versions of LaShawn that God created could live. I don't know. Right before I went to go record this song, I had created the method Becoming Me.
Okay.
And we were going through the incubator for Becoming Me. And as I looked at that song, and the what you have to go through to become yourself, it's super serious. And it is a death. It feels like a death. It's so, the word I hear is egregious. It feels egregious, right? To voluntarily give up things that have made you feel safe for something that you think might be, but haven't experienced yet.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes.
So, I'm gonna give you a little peek as it's the next song I'm about to record, and now we're into the second
two.
book of chapter 1.
Okay.
And the song is Through With This.
All right, walk us through that.
Through with this. Feels like I'm losing it. Why I keep choosing this. So much pain inside my brain, I just can't handle it. Hurry up, come get this. Bleep. This song is a goodbye to everything and everyone that is out of alignment with my purpose. It's unapologetic. It is forcing me to deal with choices
Yes.
that I made out of a very wounded space. For me and Andre, I created a platform called Through the Fire. In relationships, you go through the fire, in sickness and in health, good times and bad, richer for poorer, right? We've experienced the left side or the right side, richer, poorer. Yeah, we've experienced the right side, right? The left side is a different thing. And as I looked at Through With This, I heard God say, what are you through with? So let me go back a little bit. We went to go record Through With This.
All right.
I had gone to see Carlene, the medicine woman.
Okay.
And I went into the medicine woman, what they call a healing circle in a yurt. It's in a yurt in Vacaville, California. So I went into that right before we went to the studio. I had a few hours. I thought I was good. Like I was going to go in here and slay through with this. And what happened when I got into the studio was a complete disconnection. And I didn't know I was disconnected. So disconnected or disassociated, however one you want to pick, right? But I was not connected to what I was saying or what I was doing. And, Andre was there for this one. Q's not playing. And he was like, sis, this is terrible.
Okay.
Your melodies are terrible. It's like you're not even here. You're just like,
That's what he heard.
Yeah, that's what he heard.
Okay.
But in my mind, I heard,
Right.
right?
Right.
He was like, that's not at all what's happening right now.
Right.
So we ended up recording another song, and I got back home and I was crushed. I was embarrassed. I had a complete fit in the studio because I was like, he's literally having to feed me the melodies. Like, I'm not
Yes.
creating anything.
Yes.
I'm literally just like, what do you want me to say? Ooh, okay. Then what? Ooh,
There was no
okay.
heart behind it. There was no right.
No, it was just
It was
performance.
just performance.
And the Lord said, I'm done with performance with you. No more performance. Because performance crushes purpose.
Right.
When you are walking in purpose, it may look like performance, but it's purpose. And purpose is anointed. And purpose, it feels big, right?
Right.
That's not what was happening. And so when he asked me, well, what are you through with? He said, the song's called
Yes.
Through With This. What are you
What
through
is it?
with? What are you
Right.
through with? And I said, I'm through with playing small.
Okay.
I'm through with being belittled. I'm through with not loving myself and allowing people to treat me less than what I am. I'm through with a love that doesn't feel like love, but I got to call it that. I'm through. It was like, I'm through with this. I'm through with this. I'm through with this. Rewrote the song and I was like, I got it.
Okay.
I got it. So now I understand that book one, no, book two really is the resurrected me. It's the resurrected me. So now I can really speak my truth, right? The hardest part about Lessons from the Journey, the entire anthology, is it requires absolute truth. The hardest part about becoming me as the brand is I have to tell the truth. Well, what happens when the truth isn't so favorable? When it doesn't feel good? When people aren't going to like how they showed up in it? So as a kid, what I learned how to do was protect everybody else.
Okay.
But I can't protect you from what you chose.
Right.
Right? So if you don't like the way you show up in the story, then you should have showed up better. But for so long, I spent years covering up and pretending as if the things that happened didn't happen, which was making me sick inside. I'm through with that. I'm done with that. This is what it is because that's what happened. Now, this is what God has had to do to bring me out of these traumatic experiences. So if you don't like your performance, you need to go deal with your God. But this is my life now.
Right.
It's my life. This is my story. These are my lessons from the journey.
You are finally taking. You're finally seeing, and taking control of it.
Ownership.
Ownership.
Ownership. It's manage and master the game of life. Manage it. I've been given things to manage. I have a grandson. That's a role and a responsibility to manage. So if I'm not going to be authentic with him, how do I tell him to go be authentically himself? I will be a liar to him.
True.
And I can't look at that beautiful little face
Yes.
and tell him he can be anything he wants when his grandmother is going to stay in the closet and not be everything that God says she is.
Right.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be a liar. I'm not going to pretend, right? So, being attached to this brand, and being attached to this brand in any capacity means you have to step into the truth. It's no other way. And this Rescue Mission Music project has peeled my muffin cap back.
So we talked about essentially the first 5 songs out of the 28. What do you envision for the remaining 23 songs?
So I don't know about what comes after chapter 1.
Okay.
But chapter 1, the titles are already drafted.
Okay.
I have 4 to work on. So I've got the one I was just talking to you about.
Yes. The fifth one.
What did I just say? What is it called?
The fifth.
Through With This.
Through With-
So
yeah.
I've got Through With This. From Through With This, I go to I Gotta Be Me.
Okay.
Then I go into Africa's Child, which will take me to South Africa to record it.
Oh.
And I love Africa's Child because Africa's Child is an ode to African American and how amazing it is. Africa saved my life. It made me me. It gave me my heart. It is giving me the courage to be all of me. And it's reparenting me and reshaping me. And Africa is beautiful and I love it. But I love American too. It's really dope to be both Africa, the birthplace of humanity, and American.
Yes.
Are you kidding? And what my people have survived? Do you understand that? The fact that I'm here is miraculous. And what I have been through is an evidence of the impact of slavery. So Africa's Child is, it's my heart. I cannot wait to record that song. I can't wait to record it in Africa. I can't wait to have the children singing on it. And then we're going to close chapter one with Destiny, Baby. And that to me is powerful because all of this has been destiny. It was defined for me when I was formed in the womb of my mother. This was God's plan. So if you're here and you're in my life and you're watching this show or you're a part of my team, that was your destiny before I was formed in the womb of my own mother. And to me, that is, I love Rescue Mission Music Project. And I have fought for this project because people are like, well, the first song is not good. It's not the song is strong on the project. I don't care.
And that was coming into your own.
Yes. I'm like, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to educate you.
And tell you the truth.
And tell you the truth. This is what God gave me to give you to eat. Now, if you don't want to eat it, don't eat it. Yes. Don't listen to it. But you know who does like it? Me.
Yes.
I like the songs. I love them. I love what they represent, the honesty and the integrity and the authenticity. If you don't like it, baby, please don't listen. It ain't for you. But find a soundtrack that is for you, that will help you love the way you live and live well together.
That sounds like a soundtrack of motives, of your motives.
You got my why?
You got your, we have your why.
You got my why? Am I solid on my why?
You are solid on your why. And I invite everybody out there to listen to these songs as well, given what SHAWN has taken us through today. Listen with the ears of what SHAWN has talked about, but even with your own journey as well. Yeah, it's about your own journey because I don't think that you're going to be able to listen to these songs and not tap into your own story. Exactly. I just don't. I mean, if you can, I'll be surprised. But I think that these songs are going to have a very long lifespan. Just like these shows. I believe these master classes and lessons from the journey live and Think It Through Thursday, all the content lanes that I'm making, I believe that we are looking at the beginning of something that's legendary. And I don't say it because it's me. I say it because I know God and I know what it has cost me to get here. Yes. And so legacy and legend, it costs. And it has cost me everything that I was to become everything that I was called and created to be. So I just want to ask you a question. Sure. How did episode 2 impact you? What'd you learn today? So there's a lot that I've learned in terms of how should I reflect on my past personas? How can I give grace to those personas as well? What lessons can I take from myself? I'm a mother as well, into the next generation. So there's a lot of reflection from today's episode that I'm going to take back. But again, would love to hear from you all as well.
Absolutely. We really want to hear from you. This is a masterclass, and it is me giving you everything that I got so that you can become everything that you were called and created to become. Next week will be episode 3. We've gone through vision. We've gone through mission. Yeah. We've tapped into motives. And next week, we're going to tap into methods, which I know I say this all the time. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. I love the methods because now you're going to get to understand what we'll do is we'll unpack and define what methods really are, the 2 parts of methods. Yep. We'll unpack that for you. And then I'm always going to make sure that we support with the story and with the people. So we'll have some guests here Next week, I'm not going to tell you who they are because we don't know yet. But there'll be some guests here to support the methods creation and why they're here, and do the methods really work? Because that's a big deal to me. If the methods don't work, then what are they doing?
Exactly.
Right? I don't want that. So you guys, I hope that this is benefiting you. I pray that you are experiencing a desire to love your life and to live well together, because that's what we're trying to do here, is really help you love your life and live well together. So until next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Wait a minute, let me say this too. You see that little QR code right there? You see it? Can you see it? Come close. Do you see that? That QR code will give you the ability to subscribe, like, share, clip, cut, whatever you want to do. But you need to click the QR code so that we know that you're a part of this team. And as we grow, expand, and build this brand, you will have access to everything that's happening. So, hey, click the QR code and join the revolution today. I am Shawn L. Brown. This is Marina Villa, and we will see you next Sunday night on Lessons from the Journey, the Making the Brand Masterclass. See y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let's go. Get on your mark, let's go. What you waiting for? There's so much more. The future's yours. Let go, explore. It's yours for sure. Sing with me with fear. So to God I stay near. I keep my hand to the plow. There's no turning back now. My future look bleak. I decided to see. He said follow me. On a journey you'll see. Get on your mark, let's go.